Super excited to see you. I feel like it's been so long since I've been able to connect with all of you. And it's spring season. The weather's starting to shift here in the Midwest. I know you guys are tuning in from so many different places from all over the world. So if you can do me a favor and in the comment section of the chat box from whatever social media platform you're tuning in from, give me an idea of where you're at, where you're located, state, city, and what your weather's like there, because a lot of how our body recovers and how it metabolizes and how our body is able to keep up with homeostasis has a lot to do with weather shift and biometric pressure and rain. And so those who have achy joints or have autoimmune disease or have had a recent injury are going to feel a little bit more discomfort during those weather changes as opposed to when we are living a steady state in the same condition. So I'm going to share with you today a variety of different options that you can use at home through our innovative Lifepro products that are going to help you in your pain relieving strategies, but also anti-aging. And today's topic of conversation is red light therapy. And I'm excited because I think I remember last year we still weren't running with the pandemic going on. And so I think I celebrated my birthday last year with all of you. And I wanted to come up with all the different things that we could do to feel younger because it was my birthday. And so next week, I believe it's next week, April the 27th is my birthday. I'll be 44 years old. I feel like I'm in my late 20s, early 30s because Lifepro is making me age backwards. Like, how awesome is that? So one of the secrets to my being happy and feeling full of life and being able to thrive regardless of what I might look like, but just feeling at my best is red light therapy. And so we're going to talk about red light therapy as well as infrared light technology, because so many of those different treatment options put together not only are able to help us to heal from a cellular level, but they're also able to keep us healthy. So if we are not feeling so good, it helps us to recover faster and to thrive at higher levels. So anyhow, I've got all the different products here that Lifepro has released, and we're going to go over some of those as well as going over why red light therapy works the way it does and how it works and why it's so important. If you don't have a red light therapy device, we're going to talk about the differences between red light therapy devices that we offer, because not all red light therapy devices are created equally and not all brands of products are created equally. But I will tell you, you cannot go wrong with any Lifepro's products because they all have a limited lifetime warranty and they are sustainable on a medically grade level. And what I mean by that, it's not a medical grade device, but you are watching this live from my medical facility in which I use these products on my clients on a daily basis. And we are seeing the same results in my medical facility as what we would see with a medical grade red light therapy device, something that's been FDA approved, that's used by doctors and healthcare practitioners. We're seeing the same results using this at-home product that you can use without having to pay a small fortune to going into a spa or to see your plastic surgeon or your esthetician, dermatologist, what have you, in order to experience the same outcomes, the same results as what you would have to if you were in a medical facility. And you get to do it all at the convenience of home. So super excited that you're all here. So let's talk about how I'm going to continue around the sun another year for my birthday, turning 44 on the 27th of this month, and what I'm doing to age backwards. And as we are sharing all this, I want you that are listening in to participate, whether you're coming in from Facebook or from YouTube or Instagram. I would love to hear if you have one of our devices and what you're using it for, or if you are interested in choosing one of these devices, what is the first thing that you're wanting to fix or wanting to use it for so that we can help you in selecting the right product. As we are talking about these different products, we will make sure and list a link on our comment section here as to how you can order each one of these products. These products are not on super special today. We're not running any big promos, but you can use my code. My discount code is Amber10, all one line, Amber10, AMBER10, and they'll attach a link that will take you to our website. You can also order these off of Amazon. Sometimes they'll run a flash sale on Amazon, or we'll offer a promo code on Amazon, but you cannot use that Amber10 code on Amazon. So Let's get the ball rolling. Behind me, you're going to see my stepdad, Larry. You have seen him in some of my original videos from years ago. And he has been a regular user of our products after having a shoulder reconstruction. He was involved in an automobile accident just a month and a half or so ago, in which he used our products because the medical community somewhat failed him. So I was coaching him from afar, using our products and helping him to accelerate his recovery. And so we'll talk about some of those products in the episode after this one. So if you are interested in learning about more other outside products from red light therapy and infrared light, stay tuned for later, because we'll be coming back on here and talking about how you can heal as similar to how professional athletes, or how we as serving the professional athletic community are helping to heal at a much faster rate than just going with the flow of what recommendations are. So love seeing all you here today. I'm seeing the Visicure and the Eleva Red and the BioHeal and all these great, the Lumacure, love it, love it, love it. I've got some pictures I'm going to show you of some of the individuals that have been using been using them on kids, been using them on adults, teenage athletes, all across the spectrum. First, let's talk about red light therapy. Okay, so red light therapy does a variety of different things, improving circulation, improving the stimulation of collagen and elastin in our body. Collagen and elastin is what goes in to create a functional, stabilized environment for our connective tissue known as fascia. And I'm going to show you right here on my photos here a picture of what fascia actually looks like to the eye underneath of a microscope. It's kind of interesting looking. Some people, I don't think you're all going to be grossed out by it. But one thing that makes it really work well is that our fascia has the ability to change its alignment, how it's structured, but it really thrives with hydration, but it holds on to all the molecules in our body, all the cells in our body, all the toxins we put on our body can get trapped in these connective tissue webs, and makes it very, very hard for our body to heal. And so on a good, healthy day, this is what fascia looks like. This jelly, hydro, this thick, fibrous structure that keeps us put together, kind of like we're covered in lots of fishnet pantyhose, right? And it's collagen, elastin thick. And as we age, this connective tissue starts to break down. And so our skin starts to sag and we start to feel pain because it starts to develop this extra web and these adhesions, which looks like this. So pretty nasty, right? And so when we have certain things that are stuck in that web, that's when we start to feel a little worse. But the web has to start to shift in order to keep our body put together the way that it is. So when we are looking at how the whole body is structured, okay, our body is structured and put together like such, and you see that webbing in between the muscle and the skin, and that is actually what we're trying to access with all of the different gadgets that we have through Lifepro to make you feel better, because if you don't manage that tissue, that's when we start to feel sick and we don't feel very good. So I'm going to show you how to tap into this. I like to say that we have learned how to hack into this system, and by hacking into the system, we can manipulate it to do certain things that it normally wouldn't do, in order to live with a more comfortable life, and in order to age backwards is what I like to say. We started our first red light therapy device that we released. We had 3 that were released at the same time, and that is the Lumacure, which is this light therapy torch, okay? And it just has 3 light bulbs in the end of it. I'm going to turn it on and face it to you. Maybe, there we go. So you see the red light therapy coming through. You see the red lights coming through it. You don't ever want to look directly into that light because it's very toxic to the eyes and can damage your eyes. So naturally, when we are using a red light therapy torch, we want to make sure that we put on our protective eye gear so that we are not casting our vision directly into the radiating light of the bulbs. Because these bulbs are highly concentrated, you cannot see infrared light to the naked eye. You can see red light, but you can't see infrared light. So you'll see 3 bulbs in there, but you only see 2 that are lit up, because when an infrared light is radiating out, you cannot see that wavelength to our eyes, okay? So the Lumacure light therapy torch was one of the first 3 devices that we released. I don't have pricing on here, but I'm sure that they will post pricing as to I know they're running like really, really good deals on this right now. I use this on a variety of different things. When we are using red light therapy, we want to make sure that we are keeping it as close to the skin as possible, because our skin is also considered an organ. It's our greatest detox organ. And with our skin is made to reflect light. So if we are observing, or if we are trying to treat ourselves with red light therapy, and we have red light therapy too far away from our skin has the ability to reflect and bounce that light away from us, and we don't have the ability to absorb it. So you're going to find that in certain situations, we're going to put it in direct contact with our skin. And then we're going to find in other situations, such as using the BioHeal, that we're not going to make direct contact with, because these lights are a much higher intensity, of a much higher frequency of threshold. And so we're not going to want to make contact with our skin because it gets hot. So with the red light therapy torch, though, if you have an open wound, you can use it on an open wound, but you want to make sure that you're using it away from the skin. So not directly in contact with, you want to be a little bit further away so that you're not making a direct contact with those cells, because we're trying to get those cells to heal without infection. So if you don't have the Lumacure light therapy torch yet, this is really good for small areas. If you have sunspot or aging spots on your face, you can make direct contact with your face. You just don't want to have the light radiating into your eyes without having the safety gear on. But it is really good for wrinkles, for fine lines. If you have scars and you're trying to lift scars or work on scar tissue work, it reduces inflammation and it reduces overall redness. But the idea with using this is to work into more of a concentrated area. One thing that's great about red light therapy is it has the ability, as well as infrared light, it has the ability to penetrate really deep into the body. So let's say I've got tennis elbow right here. If I make direct contact with the skin, it's going to drive that energy through my skin into the tissues beneath the surface, including that connective tissue, the fascia, which happens to surround every single structure in the human body, from muscles, tendons, ligaments. Our bones are covered in it. All of our vessels are covered in it. But if we're trying to work on, tennis elbow, we can actually move the hand and be gripping something, or we can just work on range of motion while we are casting red light through the area that's bothering you. And what red light therapy does is, again, the red light is a natural wavelength of different types of light that are in our natural spectrum. So it's very natural. It's not an artificial source. We're using natural red light wavelengths, driving that through to our skin and changing the energy levels through the skin, which then changes how our body produces and works molecules on a cellular level. So the idea of being able to heal and age backwards, or to be at optimal performance levels in everything we do and how we think, it all goes back to tapping to your mitochondria. So we're going all the way back to microbiology here. I know I'm going to be like over some of your heads, but if you Google how to stimulate, repair, and reproduce mitochondria, if you can learn how to hack into making and pampering your mitochondria on a systemic level within our whole body, we have the ability to cure certain things, to reduce the intensity of certain things, as well as repairing and fixing some of our skins and our fine lines, as well as chronic pain. So red light therapy does a lot of really cool things. But one thing that is really important is not using this anything internally. So if we have an orifice, our belly button, our groin, our anus, we don't ever want to insert this into any of those areas, because this is made for outside the body. So if you're having pelvic floor issues, if we're having, GI challenges, colon problems, we want to make sure that we're not using this inside the body, because it's not a sterile thing and it's not made to go inside the body. So don't stick inside of your mouth for TMJ pain. If you've got TMJ pain, you can actually stick it directly into the TMJ joint from the outside, and it will actually help with jaw pain. So many different things that you can use with the Lumacure light therapy torch. But make sure and wear those glasses, and keeping that in mind with other people in the room. Now, Larry is so far behind me that if I were to flash this light over my shoulder, it's not going to hurt him because he's not too close to it. But if you're really close to yourself, you don't want to use this over your eyes. So these are just some contraindications to remember if you decide to use one, but works for a variety of different things. We can work on a deep tissue level, tendons, carpal tunnel syndrome in the palms, knee pain, hip pain. If you've got some bursitis going on, it creates an anti-inflammatory response. So if you have inflammation, it is really good about working against inflammation to reduce inflammation by working on a cellular level. It has the ability to also stimulate stem cell reproduction in the body without having to introduce stem cells into the body. Ton of research on this type of therapy. And again, we've been using it in my facility for quite a while, since we've been using it with Lifepro. But there for a while, I was going to get a facial once a month, and they would put a red light therapy mask over my face to help in healing with some of the scars from having cystic acne before being on Accutane years ago, from having certain sunspots, from being out in the sun too long. So there's a lot of different ways that we can use red light therapy and infrared therapy in order to fix our bodies for a greater longevity of life, greater quality of life. Okay, now with the Lumacure light therapy torch, we've got 3 non-UV LED lights, creating a wide spectrum of treatment options. We have a 630 nanometer red light, a 660 nanometer red light, and then we've got 850 nanometer of infrared light, okay? Those 3 bulbs together create the therapeutic effect of decreasing inflammation, decreasing pain, and improving how our body regulates itself on a systemic level. But again, you don't want to use this for total body transformation. That's what you're going to use more of the BioHeal for. So 3 times a day for 3 minutes for 3 weeks is going to give you a 30% shift in elastin collagen production, and you're going to start to see changes in your body within 3 weeks, 3 times a day of using this. If you're wanting to use it for doing more with in-depth treatment for bone or for joints, you're going to hold it. If you're using it for joints or for tendons, you can use it just right off the skin, about a ½ inch. If you're wanting to penetrate really deep into a bone or a joint or into the spine, you're going to go directly in contact with the skin. If you have scars or if you have skin challenges, then you can keep it off the skin about 1 inch away, and that will make that makes it more stimulating to the skin, because remember, the skin is reflecting the light away. So in order to penetrate deeper, we go closer in contact with the skin. If we're going more superficial, we go further away, but no more than 1 inch, using the Lumacure light therapy torch. That, in a nutshell, is how that works. I've got several devices here. So one thing that we were talking about before I went live is we're going to try and jump back into offering how to work specifically into treatment parameters, how to offer the red light therapy devices at home for treating certain things. We are not here to replace any kind of medical advice or medical treatment that you're currently receiving, just to enhance life or to help out with things that you might be curious about at home without the consequences of hurting things. So that's the nice thing about red light therapy. It takes a lot of exposure of it in order to hurt the body. And because the devices that Lifepro manufactures are considered a residential product and not a medical grade product, you don't have to worry about hurting yourself from too much exposure unless you're looking directly into the lights. So don't do that. All right, so I'm seeing some posts here. I'm hoping to buy a BioHeal red light panel, but had checked earlier this afternoon and am bummed to learn it's out of stock. I'm not surprised by that. I'm super excited to see these comments. Okay, if you're wanting to use a device that doesn't require glasses and you're wanting to sit and watch TV or work from home or walk around cleaning or doing different oddball tasks without having to be pulled away from other things, the Visicure light therapy mask is really good for fixing specifically imperfections in the face. And it has 3 different light options for light treatment. So it goes beyond red light therapy. Not only do we have red light therapy, we also have our blue light therapy and our orange or amber light therapy. So you get a little bit of amber in the Visicure, okay? Now, I messed up and did not charge mine, and it has been heavily used this week by some of my clients. So unfortunately, I do not have the ability to tell you how awesome it is, because we have used and abused it this week. But what I do want to show you is kind of what it looks like. If you are curious about seeing how this works, I had one of my coworkers and we wore these around in my gym as we were doing the launch. And it was funny because I turned off the lights and we had our little light show in the dark and had little dances going on. So if you want to see it in action, you can go back to one of our older episodes when we first launched it, and you can see how it lights up in the different ways. But what I want to talk about tonight is how the light therapy that it does offer works in serving different purposes for whatever your needs might be. It does charge through a USB cord, which is nice, so you don't have all the cords everywhere. There are other masks that are out there that are made by our competitors, but they do have all the cords. You got to have a plug-in, and nobody wants all the cords around. We just want to be able to put it on and go. So when you put it on, it's very similar to wearing like our COVID face masks. For those of you who have been wearing a COVID face mask, so it sits very, very light to the face, and it has a little adjustable nose piece right here that's silicone based. And then on the outside is our on-off switch. And so when we push and hold, it'll click on, and then you can push and hold it each time and click it. It goes through the 3 different light options. And we have several LED lights that are built into this. Got to remember 34. So we've got 34 different LEDs that are on here between the 3 different light options for 50,000 hours of LED life in one mask. And remember, limited lifetime warranty. So if you have a mask that decides to not work on you anymore, or it won't charge, or whatever the problem might be, make sure to reach out to our customer service for replacement or for parts. If they can't replace it, then, or if they, I'm sorry, they'll send you whatever you need, whether it's a charging cable, and if it doesn't work, then they'll replace it. Support number hotline is support@lifeprofitness.com. So if you have trouble, make sure and reach out to them, support@lifeprofitness.com. So with the different types of light, we've got blue light, we've got amber light, and we've got red light. Red light, like we've mentioned before, is more about anti-aging, fine lines, wrinkles, inflammation, facial pain. So if you've got jaw challenges with TMJ, headaches, you can use it for all of that. The blue light is really good for bacteria. So if you have an individual who is constantly breaking out in acne because of bacteria in the oil glands, or they touch their face often because of the type of the work that they're doing, or just naturally carry more bacteria in their system, which is a possibility, then you can use this with blue light. And blue light is really good for destroying bacteria so that you don't have to take an antibiotic or put certain substances on your face. You can use blue light therapy for that. And this comes ready to use for blue light therapy. When it comes to the amber therapy, the amber light therapy, it's going to fall more, so in the whole spectrum of lights, it's 590 nanometers to 620 nanometers, and it's really good for individuals who have rosacea, who have inflammation, redness, have had a little bit of a skin break. It's really good for healing skin that's irritated. Really good for lymphatic drainage and for clearing, flushes toxins out of the system. And so it works, like I said, really good for increasing oxygenation in the cells. So good for those who have redness, broken capillaries, just wanting to repair the overall tone and coloration of their face. That's what your amber light is for. And then the red light, again, we've talked about. So that's your Visicure light therapy mask. These things sold like hotcakes. As soon as we released them, it was near impossible to get your hands on one of these. So if you do find these available from Lifepro on the website, snatch it up as quickly as you can, because they're very high demand right now. All right. So that's our Visicure light therapy mask. Now, if you've got back pain and you're riding in your car, or you are just wanting to work on like a thigh that's sore, you've got shoulder pain, we use this next device in my facility every single day. And what's nice is we've bought extra of them, and so we loan them out to our clients so that they can use them at home and decide if they want to buy one or not. But it also accelerates their healing and recovery, so when they come back in for treatment, we don't have to do the same things over and over again. We're able to advance and accelerate their process by doing things that are more important so that they can do this at home. So that's what I love about our products. They are working at the same ratio or results or outcomes as a medical grade device, but it's made for use at home from the general population. So the Eleva Red light therapy belt. Another thing that red light therapy is really good for is destroying and metabolizing stubborn fat cells. Red light therapy actually accesses to fat cells. So if you're having trouble getting rid of belly fat or extra fat around your knees or in your ankles or wherever it may be, I'm not guaranteeing you that it's going to work because everybody is different. But there are studies that have proven, and we do have clients that have shown that they do work for destroying or eliminating, minimizing fat cells. So you can use this a couple different ways. I'm going to plug it into my cord down here. And here we have it, have a long cord to it. Your control comes on this little switch here. And when we open this up, we're looking at the same thing as what we had with the other LED lights, but we have them and they wrap all the way around, okay? So we have lots and lots of LED lights. We have 5 different levels of settings that you can do. And you have the option of using red light or infrared light. So on our little remote here, we push the start power on button, okay? And now we're on. Now you're gonna see that I'm not wearing eye protection and I'm able to look directly into these lights and it's not gonna hurt me because we're using a different intensity, a different size of an LED light bulb for delivering this therapy. So you don't have to worry about exposure like you would with the BioHeal or with the Lumacure light therapy torch. Start getting all these names tongue-tied. Okay, the light that you were using before, it is good for the hand. Absolutely. Yes, if you have problems with your hands, you're going to want to use the Lumacure light therapy torch or the BioHeal because the concentration is much higher, going to penetrate deeper. You can wrap your hand in this as well. This will work as well. But if you're wanting to go more concentrated at a deeper level, shorter treatments like 3 minutes, then the Lumacure light therapy torch is the way. This one has 105 different lights. So really good for low back. You can wear it around your wrist, around your waist, arms, legs. I've used this just about everywhere except for my face. So you don't want to use this. I don't recommend using this on the face. That's what we have the shield for. That's what the BioHeal is for. The BioHeal is really good for the face. But anyways, this is really good to wrap around for back pain. If I'm working on somebody who has a shoulder challenge, has rotator cuff tendonitis, or we've got impingement syndrome, or we've got biceps tendonitis, or something going on in the shoulder, we've got inflammation or arthritis, really good for those areas. We do have, again, several different levels of intensity. So on here, you're going to see whether it's in, right now it's in 660 nanometers of light. There's level 2, level 3, and there's level 4. And then if I switch to infrared light, which is 800, you're going to see 850. You're not going to see the infrared light lighting up because it's naked to the human eye, but we're combining that with the red light therapy. So you get both in one when you click on at 850, okay? Because that's the frequency, that's the nanometer that we're going to see infrared lighting working. So again, a lot of different ways that we can use this, but it is absorbed by the body. And so this you're going to put directly up to your skin, and so that we are penetrating the light through the skin as opposed to reflecting it off of. We don't want to reflect if we're trying to penetrate into deep low back tissues. So you can put this directly onto the skin. In fact, if you try and put it over your clothes, it's not going to work. So don't do that. You want to make sure that you're not using it over a towel, over clothes, that we're actually making it in contact with the skin. And if you don't want to make it in contact with the skin, then you can kind of create yourself a little dome. You're going to wrap it around, and you can wrap it around so it sits kind of upright like this, not directly on the skin, but if you're trying to keep it close to the skin without touching, then you can create your own kind of little dome as you can get it to hold up. You can also, as some have used with the BioHeal, you can also kind of wrap it around a post of some sort or like a curtain rod, and you can actually hang it and stand in front of it and get it covering more of your body. The secret with how red light therapy and infrared light therapy works is you're trying to get as much exposure to as many of your cells in the body on a global level as possible. The more that you can hack into how your cells are working overall in the total body, increasing overall vitality, increasing overall stem cell reproduction, as well as oxygenation, the more of those cells in your body that you can influence, the better you're going to feel. But if you have one ailment that's causing you more problems than others, then if you can dial in directly to that, so low back pain or hip pain, SI joint pain, bursitis in the hip joint, if you can dial in into a higher concentrated area all at once, then you're going to absorb that energy in that specific joint as opposed to just standing in front of it and letting it reflect through you. So hopefully that makes some sense. But you can use this in a variety of different ways. What I love about this, if you decide that you don't want to plug it into the wall, I have little power blocks. Now, I have seen online some of our customers are irritated because we don't include the power box. Okay, there's no reason for us to include this because you can buy these for like less than $10 and you can use it for your phone, you can use it for your ear pods, you can use it for all different kinds of cords. It does not come inclusive with your light therapy belt. You have to get it separate. And I have to apologize because my cable, I grabbed the wrong cable, but what you're going to do is you're going to plug the cable into the adapter here, and then it attaches via USB through the end of this. And then when you turn this on, then you're going to see the red light therapy belt turn on. So you can just plug it into this box, and that's how, oh, and actually, it actually might work. Let me try. I have a bad connection here, so we're going to see if it'll work. Oh, look at that. It works. So I actually grabbed the right cable. All right. So you're going to see, but my battery is running a little low on power. So it does work with the cables so that you don't have to carry a bunch of cables around. When you wrap this on, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to get lost in the screen. But when you stand up and you wrap the belt on, so if I'm trying to use this for fat loss, we'll just raise up my shirt, tuck it in like such. And now we're on. What's really cool is it has a pouch right here. And so you can take this and you can stuff it in the pouch, walk around your house and do chores or type at your computer, whatever you want to do. But you're going to stick this in, you can tuck it in this little pouch, and it follows you everywhere you go. And you can multitask and not have to worry about how you're going to plug stuff in and not being stuck where you're at. So that's the red light therapy belt. It's a Eleva red. And again, if you want to use the USB charge, then you have to get your own power block. And I get this on Amazon. If you need help finding one, shoot me a text message or post a question on the chat and I can attach a link later. So that's the Eleva red light therapy belt, which is really good for training a large area at a time while moving around. Now, our most recent release is the BioHeal. And I have to tell you guys, I was so excited when we released this product because I was already researching on buying myself one from a different manufacturer, but I really couldn't afford it because it was going to cost about $4,000. I know, crazy expensive, for something just double the size. And then when I did some research, just last week actually, I was looking at some research studies because everything I do has to be evidence-based. And so I was looking through some research studies, and I want you to remember, just because it's more expensive does not mean it's better. So when it comes to choosing a red light therapy device, I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that our products are tested. We have an amazing person who works for us who has done testing on a lot of our platforms and has tested other platforms. And our platforms are definitely superior to a lot of others that are on the market. What we tell you that you're getting, you're getting. We are not making up for a sales pitch that it's going to be one frequency or one intensity level. We want to make sure that you know you're getting what you're paying for, but you're getting more than what you're paying for in the device if you're comparing it with others that are out there. So just because it's more expensive does not mean that it's the best. In fact, the ones that are most expensive actually fell in the research studies clinically right in the middle of the road, even though they cost the most. So don't get all hyped up on whether it's expensive enough, because a lot of companies try and separate themselves from other companies by being more expensive and claiming to be better, and they're not. Some of the massage gun companies that are out there are another perfect example of that they have more expensive products, but the massage guns that we sell are just as effective, if not better, than some of the really expensive ones that are out there. So it comes with these little attachment points. So if you want to hang it in a room, if you want to stick it over a door, or if you want to just have it sitting, right now I've just got it sitting on an easel. I'm going to show you a picture of me working with some individuals and using this, but I've already used this on several clients with great success. I had a young lady who was injured from playing soccer, and she got cleated really, really hard and didn't recover very quickly and had to go out and compete the very next day. Again, this young lady is junior high kiddo. And so she came in and I explained what we were going to be doing. And it was so cool because it fixed her problem. And not only did she go out and compete, but she won all 3 of her races. So this is her coming in and getting treated with the same device I'm showing you in my treatment room. And this is her in the moment experiencing with the safety protection. And when she left, she was pain-free and went out and just conquered life. And it was awesome. So it does a lot of really good things. What is the difference between these bulbs and all the other bulbs that we have? These are definitely much more powerful. So you definitely want to make sure that you got your eye protection on. My stepdad behind me is far enough away that we don't have to worry about him going blind. But it can cause some problems with your eyes. But you're going to see on the back here, it has a little easel that can be adjusted based on where you want to position it, which angle you want. And so if we are working on our TMJ joint, so here's a little insight. If you have neck and shoulder pain, and if you carry a lot of tension in your neck, make sure that you're accessing your jaw, because a lot of people who have neck and shoulder pain continually go in and have that released through a chiropractor, different medical professionals. They do a lot of that work, when a lot of the problem can be right here in the TMJ. So if the TMJ in the jaw is inflamed or swollen or under great amounts of tension, it automatically changes the line of pull on the neck muscles and on the shoulder muscles. So this is something that helps with inflammation in the skin, whether you are dealing with acute, meaning instant problems, or whether you've been suffering from pain for a long time. This will expose itself to all those underlying conditions, or can. So on the side here, we have the different controls. We're going to power on. Oh, got to fix the breaker switch. It has a safety switch on the back side, so I just flipped that. So we are powering on. It has a default time for 10 minutes, okay? If we are wanting to increase, we can increase the time 1 minute at a time, and it goes all the way up to 30, okay? So if you want to drop it down to 1, you can drop it down to 1, or you can go all the way through to 30, but by default, it starts at 10 minutes, okay? So I'm going to power off so I don't have to do that again. Whoops. Or not. Let me show you the quick way to turn this off. You flip the switch on the back. This is an Amber moment. We flip the switch back on and it resets itself, okay? All right, so when we turn this on and we look at the different time options, you're gonna see up here on the panel, you're gonna know which mode that you're in, because we have the option of going with infrared or red or both. Right now it's turned on for both. So if I push this button here at the bottom, it actually turns on the power of all the bulbs. If you push it again, it flickers. So it's giving a flash response to those lights. Now, if you have somebody in your home, or if you are an individual who suffers from seizures, you have very sensitive eyes to light, if you have any issues with your eyes as far as nerves go, you have to be really careful with using that flash sensor. So make sure, if you have people who are around you that can experience epileptic behavior, seizures, don't use that feature unless you are alone and you are safe with using that feature, because it can cause some problems. Individuals who have ADHD, dogs and cats who are sensitive to certain things, it can create a lot of irritation. So do be careful with that. So if I push this middle button, you're going to see one of the lights will click off. That's giving me the ability to choose whether I am using one type of light versus another. And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to choose both. I'm going to push start. And as you can see, without being put into a line of danger, the lights that are red are much brighter than the lights that are a little lighter tone, and those are your infrared lights, okay? And so what we're going to do, if I'm wanting to fix my face, okay, then I'm going to put the glasses on, as I have, and I'm just going to sit here and look into the light, or I can turn to the side and allow the light to touch me, but you're actually going to feel heat coming off of this. So you don't want to be like laying with your face on the light because it is hot. Okay. So you can look into the light, close your eyes and look into it. It's very similar to like tanning bed concept. You don't want to ever open your eyes in a tanning bed. But again, the lights are very destructive to your eyes directly looking into. So don't look directly into the light if you don't have the eye protection on. And even if you do have the eye protection on, still use a little bit of caution when you're considering the different things you can do. Now, if we're trying to get as much cells exposed to the red light, ideally we want to be about 6 inches away from the light. And again, we want to be unclothed. We want to be as bare as possible because the light does not travel through the clothes. So if I have a shoulder challenge that I'm dealing with, then I would want to take off my shirt and expose my shoulder to the lights like such, okay? And I do have clients that have those kind of problems. Now, because I am trying to get this to work on a higher percentage of exposure to my shoulder, to my arm, I have to adjust the light. And again, we provide a lot of different ways in which you can adjust to the light. So if I wanted to hold it, I can just hold it here, okay? Now I'm gonna hold it for 10 minutes. And if you don't really wanna hold it for 10 minutes, you can prop it up on something. You can adjust that easel so that it's all the way down. And there we go. So now I'm sitting closer to it and I'm not having to hold it, but I'm trying to get as much exposure to the whole area as possible while making sure that the area that hurts is getting a good concentration. It's kind of like the center of attention. So in doing this for 10 to 30 minutes, your body is automatically transforming cellular production, increasing oxygen, increasing nitric oxide, which is really powerful for healing, increasing stem cells. It's reproducing stem cells. If we're replicating mitochondria, if we're able to replicate mitochondria or transform the mitochondria that we already have, that's where the aging takes place in our body, is through the mitochondria. They are the chemical messengers to the hormone release in our body, and how our body maintains homeostasis is through the mitochondria, through our entire cellular structure in the human body. So this is an easy way to hack into how the mitochondria work for the better good of health overall. So a lot of different things that it does. But I can feel the heat coming on. If I were to have my father-in-law come over and feel one shoulder versus the other shoulder, this shoulder is definitely going to be hotter than this shoulder because I'm reflecting the red light on the wavelength that it presents. Okay, so that is the BioHeal. You can use it in a variety of different ways. I had an individual that came in with turf toe, had a big toe problem, and so we used it on that individual in order to get them to heal a little bit better. Oh, good question with the thyroid. So I actually do not have an answer to that right this very second, but I will research that because there are certain areas you have to be really careful. I actually just learned about this on a podcast today. I make sure that I always learn something new every day before I go to bed, or I don't go to bed at night. What I learned today about red light therapy, this is really cool. What I learned about red light therapy, gentlemen, you do not want to put the red light therapy up near your testicles, okay? Because it is a heat source, it is a source of heat. So if you are trying to drive heat into soft tissue to heal it and to lower levels of inflammation, not by putting a heat pack on it, but by truly transforming wavelength light into energy through our body. If you're trying to do something thinking this is going to enhance anything, whether it's infertility, you're trying to produce a greater concentration of swimmers, or you are dealing with prostate cancer, or you're dealing with some different things, do not, under any circumstances, use red light therapy near the testicles, because it can actually damage the testicular activity. So make sure that you use caution especially if you're young and thriving. You don't want to use this anywhere near your testicles. You don't want to use it anywhere in your eyes, because the eyes is an open way to getting internally into the body. And again, we want to make sure that we're careful about internally using these devices. It would be very hard to use the BioHeal internally, so good luck with that. Don't want to even hear about methods for attempting that. But to answer the question about the thyroid, I'm not sure specifically how it has effect on thyroid outcomes, but I will research that, because I know thyroid conditions are super common right now. And so the thyroid regulates so much of how the human body functions. So if you have hypothyroidism or hyperthyroidism, you know, those are two different extremes of how the thyroid is releasing different hormones. I will look into that and get more information on that for you. So we'll get to the bottom of that. All right, we've covered all the different red light therapy devices. And so that being said, I'm going to turn this bad boy off because I've already had my red light therapy dose for the day. Other ways that you can improve life is getting outside and getting sunlight, because sunlight actually produces many of the same effects in a lower dose. We don't want to be baking in sunlight, but believe it or not, there is a certain amount of therapeutic effect on the wavelength that sunlight produces light therapy. It's using photon molecules, which is natural. NASA is actually who founded or located or discovered red light therapy because of science. So you can use a variety of different things for greater outcomes, a better quality of life, just making sure that you're choosing which one is going to be best suitable for you in your therapy approach. I want to show you here this young lady, if I can find her photo. I will show you a picture of us using the Lumacure light therapy torch on a young man. He went into surgery after breaking his foot ankle joint. It was a very nasty injury. And we worked on him the day before he went into surgery, and we started working on him immediately after he came out of surgery. So in this photo, these are a bunch of athletes getting worked on here at my facility. You see one young man who's got the Eleva red over his shoulder, and then you've got me wearing the glasses working on this young man's ankle. I will show you, that is me working on his ankle the day before surgery. And although you can't tell because you're not sure what to look for, but you can see how it's actually broken in the center, and it's disfigured. So we're doing this in order to lower inflammation to make for a better surgery outcome. And this young man came in and saw us immediately following surgery. Once he got his splint off, we were able to start doing this immediately after surgery. And what was really cool about his outcome was we were able to increase his recovery time. He was out of the boot, walking, post-surgery, back to being normal in 4 weeks after having hardware inserted. So he had to have plates and screws, complete foot ankle reconstruction with tib fib fracture with a slight dislocation. And doctor went in and reduced all of that. And he was able to thrive in his life 4 weeks after that surgery because we were working on his scars, working on the inflammation, working on cellular regeneration and oxygen reproduction within like hours and days within surgery. So that's his case. This is a case in which we're working on turf toe injury, which we had a lot of. That's very common in runners, soccer athletes, football players, baseball players. So we're working on turf toe here, and it kept him going without having to take time off. Here I have used it on an Achilles tendon reattachment. So we did this for wound healing, used it about an inch away from the tissue, a half inch to an inch away. And although we couldn't make contact directly with, we were able to use the red light to heal and regenerate stem cells and oxygenation within the tissue that he had, which made the tissue more feasible, made it healthier over time. Remodeling made it easier. Pain thresholds went down because inflammatory levels went down. And then, of course, we are generating collagen and elastin production, which is responsible for holding our body together. So we used it on an open wound there. We just can't make direct contact with. So anyhow, I do appreciate your time in observing our series today. All these products are available through Amazon and the Lifepro website, which if you're wanting to go through the link that I have, they've posted it here in the comment section, lifeprofitness.com/Amber. And then you can use the discount code Amber10, AMBER10 for an extra little discount, little bonus time from Amber and Lifepro. So thank you so much for your time. And I'm super excited to see how these become life transforming in your world, however you're using them. But if you want to stay tuned, I'm going to show you how we use some of these products on professional athletes and in a professional setting on a day-to-day basis, because we want you to have all the bells and whistles at home to recover like a pro. You wonder how professional athletes are out there playing in their sport, aging older and older into their 40s, and they're still playing hardball like they did when they were in their 20s. They aren't doing it without doing things behind the scenes. So make sure that you are doing some of these little hacks at home using the same products that they're using. And I'm going to show you the sequencing of how the best time to use the products before or after, different situations. I'm going to show you a different variety of products as to how you can use that. So how long a session should you use the belt to be used for fat loss? I would aim for like 20, 30 minutes for fat loss. And for using for pain, it depends on where your pain is located for the BioHeal, but it won't hurt you to do 30 minutes for pain relief because, again, we're trying to stimulate cellular response. We're trying to ease tension on the tissue. And again, the tissue is created, pulled together with elastin, collagen, fascia. It's all coming together. And so if you can ease the tension on your fascial lines, the pain goes away because fascia is what is transferring pain. All of our nerves, our meridians, our lymphatic system is all blanketed in this structure called fascia. And so if we can pamper our fascia, then the fascia will pamper us back by relieving our pain and giving us greater vitality of life and being able to move in ways that we want to move. So stay tuned. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have to take off, I hope to see you next week. I'm going to have a fun little birthday party for myself through Lifepro and connecting with all of you here in a few weeks, because I like to celebrate my birthday for a whole month because I deserve to celebrate, because I lived a whole extra year to be able to share my time with you. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy Easter to many of you that might be celebrating Easter. And I look forward to, speaking of, you still have time to get this to put in bunny baskets if you have people at home that you need to put a bunny basket out for. So makes for a really good Easter bunny basket gift. So I hope you have a great evening, afternoon, whatever time zone it is for you. And I look forward to talking to you all again very soon.